I've been a massage therapist now for about 7 years, and throughout my practice I always found that there was always something more going on. I was trained originally to quite a high clinical level, where there was always kind of an A to B to C process. And pretty much within my first year of practice, I started to notice things were a little bit different. Like Andre just alluded to before, I started to notice energy. And when working with people, I'd finish the day and sometimes I could barely even talk, as I'd picked up energy and emotion from my actual clients. I didn't even realise this was happening, and it took a little bit of extra training and further research to kind of get in touch with that. So fast forward a few years later, a little bit more experience, I've started to do monthly workshops, predominantly on teaching the power of touch, but also simple and easy methods that you can use for massage with anyone. And that includes, of course, even pets, children, anyone you like really. And of course, even in the workplace, if you've got somebody there that's perhaps a bit stressed or struggling, just that simple hand on a shoulder, which I've experienced, of course, even in Man Club, is phenomenally powerful. So it's during these workshops that we do a series of exercises to demonstrate that. We're going to be doing a little bit of that today, so there will be a little bit of a touching. And of course, if you are a little bit uncomfortable with that, perfectly understand if you want to sit out. We are, of course, energetic beings. Again, Andre was speaking about this energetic field that we have that surrounds us. And I noticed myself early on in my practice, I went through a marriage breakup and a very tough time. And I was very angry. That's quite often the case. And I noticed that the type of clients that were coming to see me were also angry. I was starting to get big rugby players and angry people, and I was like, what is going on? And it's only with reflection that I've started to truly understand that and to become more open. In fact, there was a study which I found quite profound in 2009 by Matthew Hettenstein, to get that right, with the use of a number of blindfolds and a lot of students. They proved through research that the actual power of touch was a form of communication. They basically just thought or expressed emotion, and then the other person would try to decipher what was being put across. And this included sympathy, happiness, anger, fear, disgust, love, gratitude, and sadness. Now, the sort of average result they were expecting would have been about 25%. And it was actually 78% success rate. There's been further research and studies to show it really is a form of communication. And in fact, touch is the very first language we learn. It's the very first sense that we have. It's immensely powerful. Of course, in today's world, we're becoming more and more disconnected with phones, technology. And it's my real passion to try to bring back that sense of community and physical contact with one another. In fact, just a hug for 20 seconds can lower stress levels remarkably to an incredible level and promote oxytocin, the hug drug, which of course brings about a lot of well-being. Further to that, of course, it brings about community and bonding, and even success in sports teams. The psychologist Michael Krauss in 2010 initiated a study on basketball players in the NBA. During the study, he noticed that the teams that went on to greatest success earlier in the season had the most physical contact. We're talking about the back slaps, the high fives, the hugs, that type of thing that you often see in sports teams. And that study actually got me thinking quite a lot about sports teams that I've been involved in. You know, football teams where we had a lot of success, where we had a lot of natural connection. And it was a case, if somebody scored a goal, we would just go and give them a hug. If somebody struggled, if there was a failure, if somebody gave the ball away, for example, there was those words of encouragement and a touch on the back. So again, these studies I can really relate to, and I'm sure you can probably find examples in your own life. So I think we'll do a little bit of some demonstrations in terms of what you can do. And in fact, you probably already have been doing it. We actually massage ourselves all the time. Sounds a bit dodgy, but if you hurt your knee, for example, if I bashed it on the table or something, the natural inclination straight away is to give it a rub. You think, why would you do that? Well, straight away you're stimulating blood flow. You're just calming things down. There's a whole host of other benefits. And if you can get in touch with that instinct and start to realise what am I actually doing, then you can actually make it more purposeful. And quite often you'll sit there, I was a little bit nervous before coming up, and you just do that with your shoulder. And again, these are things that you can do, and in the end it becomes second nature. With my children, especially, none more so. They've grown up with that. I've always been massaging them and hugging them. It's just part of who I am. So we could be sat there watching TV and I could just have my hand on my son's shoulder and just give him a little squeeze. And he gives a little squeeze back. And it's lovely. So we're going to do a little demonstration. I'd like a completely uncorrupted, random volunteer. Dan, there you go. If you could just come up. Funny, it's just random there. Yeah, but a chair would be lovely, actually, yeah. And what I'd like you to do, if you're comfortable, is to partner up. I'll give you a couple of minutes just to do that. You poor thing.
What are you going to do to me, Phil? This is good.
Okay, has everyone found a partner? Okay. So person A, person B, one or two, whatever suits you. I just want that person, make a choice of that. Just make sure your client or friend, or whatever you want to call them, is facing away from you like Dan is here. Okay. Are we all good? Okay. Now all I want you to do to person B is just place your hand in between the shoulder blades where their heart would be. I'm going to have to get down a little bit here. Okay. And the person sitting in your chair in front of them, you need to just close your eyes. Now as you have your hand on their heart, I want you to just connect to that. And just allow your breathing to match their breathing. We're going to do this just for 30 odd seconds. Okay, just open your eyes. Take a moment to just think about what you've observed, what you felt. And then we're going to swap over. Whenever you're ready. Do the same to me if you want there, Dan.
I shall, my friend.
I'll have to keep, if you could count us down 30 seconds. Okay, so again, place your hand just on where their heart would be. Person B, just close your eyes. And again, enjoy just 30 seconds of that feeling. And the person with your hand there, just match their breathing. Just feel their heart. Okay, just open your eyes. A bit think about what you've observed. And now we're going to swap over again. We're going to do the same thing. But this time, as you've got your hand on your partner's heart, in your head, I want you to constantly say, I love you. You can say it out loud if you want. I mean, with clients, it does happen occasionally. I want you to just project that to them, constantly repeating over and over in your mind, I love you. Okay, place your hand on their heart. Person B, just close your eyes. 30 seconds, and just observe and notice what you feel. Okay, whenever you're ready, just open your eyes. And just take a moment to think if there was a difference. Okay, we're going to swap over if you're ready. And the same thing. Okay, so hand on their heart. Close your eyes. Remember to repeat over and over, I love you, to that person. 30 seconds, let's go. Okay, whenever you're ready, just feel free to come back to earth. You can all take a seat. I'd be interested to know if you found there was a difference. Feel free to come and have a chat with me afterwards. But during my workshops, I've always found every single time people have noticed that. And in fact, we've actually conducted exercises where we've had partners talking to each other and the other person is repeating in their head either I love you or even I hate you. And there is a remarkable difference. And every time, so far, my studies have come to a 100% accuracy level. In fact, it's very interesting to see when somebody is projecting that emotional state. We've heard things such as, I feel like I'm being pushed back. One lady, in fact, just couldn't talk and then just burst into laughter and felt immensely uncomfortable. And of course, the opposite is true with love. You see just such a free flow, a complete understanding and a beautiful connection. And for me, it's just proof that what we are thinking, what we are feeling, is truly coming out to everyone. And that we really are all completely connected. But of course, the power of touch can sometimes go too far, and it can go wrong. I found this little poem I thought I'd read to you just to finish my talk, by Natalie the Rogue Rhymer. My wife said our sex life is always the same. You need to spice things up and rekindle our flame. So I got into the net and researched lots of stuff. I took tons of notes and soon I'd had enough. I went to Tricky's Treats with a list a mile long. I even skipped around, humming a naughty little song. So my wife came home from work and entered the scene. I sported a mankini and mask. She started to scream. I chased her with a feather in one hand and a whip in the other. She dashed from the room, crying loudly for her mother. She slipped on the rose petals. The candles fell to the floor. I reached for the massage lotion. She darted out the door. She left me hot and bothered, much to my chagrin. Whatever I do, I feel I just can't win. So next time I'll ignore her rebuffs. Tomorrow night I'll whip out the handcuffs. Thank you very much for your time.